Julian Mellor, Easy Swing Coach. I've had a request to do a video from playing out of thick rough. It's not a place that we'd like to frequent very often, but unfortunately we do. So I'm going to do a video on how to get out of thick rough and definitely what you shouldn't be, and also what we should be doing to make this shot a whole lot easier. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is make sure we choose the right golf club. I often, when I'm going around with people, I often see people grab a rescue club out of here because they've got 200 odd yards to still go and they're trying to get it there in one shot, whereas actually there's no way that you can hit a really long club out of this lie. This is really thick, heavy rough. So whatever you do, do not choose a long club. We're in a hazard, we need to get out of the hazard. Let's use a club that's going to make it far easier rather than one that makes it too difficult. So I've actually chosen here a pitching wedge. I would say maximum you could go to is a 9-iron, but maybe a sand iron or even a lob wedge is more preferable, but anything above that, forget it. Okay, so for those of you who've seen my bunker videos, we're actually going to use exactly the same technique that we were doing in the bunkers. So we're going to keep the golf ball in the middle of the stance. We don't want to put the ball back in your stance because you're starting to de-loft the club, which makes it far more difficult to get the golf ball airborne. So let's set up nice and centered. So the golf club is nice and in the middle of the body. No funny angles on there. We don't want to take loft off it. Let's keep this nice and neutral. Ball's positioned in the middle. Now, what I would highly recommend you do, if you have a weaker grip, for instance, on this particular shot, I would be tempted to have a 10-fingered hold on the golf club. So we're putting your hands together, but not necessarily interlocking them or overlapping them in any way. So we're going to hold the club with 10 fingers in here. This will give you a little bit more strength and a little bit more stability with the club face. If you've got strong hands, then don't need to change your golf grip. Now, what we're going to use is gravity again. So that lovely philosophy of what goes up must come down. So we want the club to be coming down and into this thick rough, not from around the side. So if you start to swing too flat in this particular lie, you'll really struggle to get your club to go down and underneath the grass to get at the golf ball. Now, the other benefit of using the wrists really quickly and to make this lovely steep backswing is the club now is going up very, very quickly. So what we don't really want is a wide, low swing in here because we're going to hit the grass way too early. And then we've got all this resistance that we're desperately trying to avoid. So by using the wrists, that will make the club go up a lot quicker. So when we're coming down, it's coming down much, much steeper rather than too shallow where we catch too much grass. So I've got a golf ball in here. I'll throw some more in here in a second, but I promise you I've just thrown it into the grass. I haven't placed it in any way. So we're going to use the nice adage of what goes up must come down, up, down, through. And that one's come out probably about 50 yards, something like that. Let me get another golf ball here. So I've just got a golf ball. I'll just drop it in the rough. It finishes where it finishes. Oh, nice. I can only just about see that one in there. So I'm going to do the same thing again. Nice steep backswing. Also really important when we play these shots, once we release the club, move that body weight forward. Whatever you do, don't lean back. If you lean back, you'll hit far too far behind the ball. You catch loads of rough grass before you hit it, and you'll leave the golf ball in the lie it's settled in. So there it is, sat right down in there. Can just about make it out. Remember, we can't flatten the grass in here to make it better. Be nice if we could, but that's against the rules of golf. So as it's lying, nice steep backswing, and try and follow it through. Now that one's come out a lot further. It's very difficult to judge how far it's going to come out of this stuff depending on how well you make contact with it. That one's flown a bit further. So if you were playing the golf ball back into the fairway, be mindful that you don't hit it too far, that it goes in the rough the other side. So let's just get another one here. Where are we going to throw this one? Let's make it horrible. Oh, okay. That's not great, but hey, same feeling. Up, down. Remember to release the club face. Don't hold on to it, because you'll leave the club face open. You might not then get to the bottom of the ball, and we can top it back into this stuff. So nice steep backswing, up, down, through. Now, I don't know if you noticed on that one there, my follow through was really cut short, and that's purely through the resistance of the grass. It's just grabbed my club and I'm trying to get it to go forward, but it's nigh on impossible in this stuff. So let me do one more. So remember, the big things with this is don't try to be heroic. Don't try and hit a 7 or a 6 iron or a rescue club out of this stuff. It's a hazard. Let's get it out the hazard. So where are we going to go here? Oh man, there you go. Just chuck it in there. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. So trying to get some form of stance in here. Nice steep backswing, up and down. Oh. So it does require a little bit of speed and maybe a touch of force just to get the club down into the grass, but making a vertical backswing is so much better than a flat backswing. If I just demonstrate a flat backswing, now this isn't even going to be as bad. Let's get it in there a bit. So this is not quite as bad as the other ones have been, but if I swing flat now, come into the golf ball, now I can start to catch the ground way before the golf ball. My club now, by the time it's getting to the ball, is starting to lift. My club face is naturally opened. I mean, it's come out, but it's gone very low and it's gone very right from there, and that's just pure luck really that I've got that to come out. So let's just finish with another correct one. Where are we? Let's get it in there. Oh, lovely. Okay, so I'm not kidding you on this stuff, so let's get that swing nice and vertical. Remember, if you're doing this properly, if you were playing and improving your lie, that would be a penalty. So you've got to be mindful not to have too much practice swings where you're going to disturb the grass. Always worth doing it in another location just to get the feel of what your swing should be doing. So again, what goes up must come down. There you go, and that one's popped out there really nicely. So really all we're doing here is copying very much the bunker way that we set up and massively avoiding swinging flat. It's a terrible way to get your golf ball out of this thick rough. Up and down is the way forward. So just as a quick reminder, ball in the middle, shaft nice and straight, don't angle it to take the loft off. Split hand hold, so we're putting the hands together. You could even have a little gap in between the two hands if you wanted to for more strength, but and in terms of how tight we hold the golf club, you're probably going to hold it a little bit tighter than our standard way of holding it, so a little bit stronger grip, but don't strangle it, because if you do that you'll shorten the muscles and then you can't get the club down to the bottom of the golf ball to get that thing to come out. So if I said 5 out of 10 rather than my normal is 2 out of 10 that I hold it, but you don't really want to be up to 7 and 8 in here, because it will strangle the club, shorten it, and you'll start to miss hit it. So I hope you don't find yourself in this situation, but if you do, you might have the tools now to get out of it. So nice deep backswing, try and hit under the golf ball. If you can, follow through all the way to the finish, but definitely transfer your weight much better, and you should have some success out of here. So I hope this has helped, and if you want to leave me any comments below, feel free to do so. Always happy to answer those, and if you wanted to get in touch with me, just visit julianmellorgolfschool.com. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.